Only 2 videos ago, I made a video titled something along the lines of Planet Coaster 2 looks disappointing. And then in my last video, I said that I was actually more impressed with Planet Coaster 2. Well, now, all I can say is, well done, Frontier. Only a few days after my last video, they just decided, yep, let's just give them all the features they wanted. We've got dark interiors in buildings. We've got obviously our switch tracks and drop tracks. We already knew about that anyway. We've got an Omni-Mover buggy dark ride like the Haunted Mansion. What? I made a joke in one of my previous videos, I can't remember which one it was, but I said this: an Omni-Mover buggy style dark ride like the Haunted Mansion would be so cool in this game. Omni-Mover buggy style dark rides, please, please. I'm not asking, I'm begging. And I said that knowing that that was a stretch. I think I even said that. And then bam, they've just added it like it was nothing, and they don't even want to show us it. And yes, we've now had a good look at the switch track, drop track, tilt track coaster, the everything coaster, which is very heavily based off 13, which is also really, really weird because in my first Planet Coaster 2 video, which was entirely based around the concept of Frontier, or a UK-based game developer, they've confirmed that they're adding drop tracks. Surely, if they're a UK-based game developer and they're adding drop tracks, they must have been on 13 Alton Towers, which has to have a switch track in order to turn the train back forwards again. So I made a whole video based on that concept. And what do you know? The switch track drop track coaster literally has 13's trains on it. You can't make that. What? Maybe I should just buy a lottery ticket, or at least maybe I'm just psychic. Who knows? So yes, features wise, I am over the moon, and well done, Frontier. Like literally amazing. But I haven't titled the video the way I have as rage bait. There is something I do want to talk about, which I think is a weird flaw with Planet Coaster 2. In the deep dive from literally just the other day, we got a good look at some of the management features of the game, and the management features are fantastic, really in depth, but my god, is the UI enormous. It's literally full screen. It looks like a mobile game for most of the screens, and that is interesting to say the least. You literally can't see your theme park when you're toggling all these management features of your theme park. And why is this? Well, this game's UI is designed with console well and truly in mind. Planet Coaster 1 came out solely as a PC game when it was first released, and then when Frontier saw that there was a market for console came way later. They basically made a console version of Planet Coaster 1. Whereas this time, they are killing 2 birds with 1 stone, and they are designing this game to be both PC and console right off the bat, and they don't want to design 2 games, clearly. So we are getting a user interface that is kind of tailored towards both, but you can't really do that naturally for PC users. This is especially evident in the coaster building menu screen. When you go to build a new coaster in Planet Coaster 2, you are greeted with this list on the left hand side, where underneath where it says select model, this list of names of roller coasters. You've got, like in this list, you've got Accelerator Coaster, Antique Water Coaster, Crazy Mouse, Dive, Flawless, Impulsion. You have to locate the coaster type you want to build based off those names. And you literally, you might think here's a massive picture to help identify it. You only see the picture once you've clicked on the option in the list. So if you don't know what coaster type you want to build based off the name that Frontier's given it, you will have to scroll down the list and keep clicking on each option to load up this bigger picture in order for you to see the different coaster types by their photograph. Because let's be honest, in Planet Coaster 1, all we would need to do is load up this coaster menu and just pick the coaster type we want based off the little picture of the ride vehicle. Never did we have to identify the coaster type by the name that Frontier gave it in the menu system. Because let's be honest, unless you're a die-hard fan of the game, you don't really remember those names. Like Invincible or Rage or things like that. You just click on the picture of the ride vehicle that you recognize, and that's the coaster type you want to build. So my worry is that every time we go to build a coaster, I'm just going to be scrolling down this list of names on the other side of the screen. My green screen cuts off here, so I can't even point at it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. Every time I want to go to build a new coaster in Planet Coaster 2, I'm just going to be scrolling down this list and clicking on the different ones to find the coaster type I want when it loads up the big picture here. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was the one I was looking for. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure over time we'll get used to these names and we'll find it easier to locate rides that we want to build based off those names. But literally look back at any theme park game, and when you go into the coaster types before you build a coaster, they always show you a little thumbnail. Like all the Roller Coaster Tycoon showed you a thumbnail of the ride vehicle. Obviously Planet Coaster literally showed you thumbnails of the ride vehicles, so you could identify what you wanted to build. I think even No Limits shows you little icons of the coaster types, so you can identify which coaster you want to build. So this literally is like the first coaster game to just give you a list and let you figure it out. You have to just scroll through that list until it loads and keep clicking until it loads that big picture if you don't know the name. And you can tell this is designed for console, because on console you will just come onto here and flick down on the D-pad on the controller of the console, and it will just load up the big picture anyway. When you're flicking down on the D-pad, and it will just go down the menu options, it will just load up the picture, I'm sure. So this feels so designed for console and not designed for PC. It's unreal. Planet Coaster 2's features are absolutely exactly what we were looking for and brilliant. But the UI is absolutely designed with console in mind. There's no even denying it. That's the video. That's the end. Bye-bye.